This is the broken pump out. It's a fairly standard pool pump. Starlight, they're a popular make for a long time. Water comes in there, goes through here, filter basket in there, back out the top. These are about 30 quid new, so I'm sure someone will want that. So one way or the other, I'm going to try and sell the lid. There's not much to scrap on here. That is low grade magnetic stainless. And there's the pump. I thought there was more cast out. I thought this was cast alley, but it's literally just water, hard water marks on there. But so it's cast alley from here all the way back, and obviously we assume there's going to be a fair bit of copper in there. The cable has already come off and has gone on a heater, which I did in an earlier video. I found an old heater, had a braided cable, that heater there, and I had a cable with a plug, so I thought, well, I'll stick that on there. So I'm going to put the whole thing on eBay, spares a repair. I mean, if someone were to pay a tenner for it, you know, I'll probably get more than it's worth scrap, and they will get a bargain because those are about 25 to 30 quid. And it's in good nick. I think the O-rings are alright. I think the O-rings are quite new on it. So yeah, I'm going to stick it on eBay for a week, see what happens. Well, the pool pump sold. I got more than I would get for its scrap value, plus I didn't have to take it apart. So what do I do now for a scrap out video? I'll take this one apart instead. This is a different pool pump. This one came from a dog swimming place. There's a dog pool for like hydrotherapy for dogs and whatnot. And you imagine all the hair and everything else, they get through quite a lot of pumps. And I've got a bunch of scrap off them, including a couple of pump things and some other bits and pieces. So we'll take this one apart. As I mentioned with my own pump, the older ones, you need to put something across the top of the lid, across here, to take the lid off. I was looking in my toolbox and I found something. I make Ade Stilsons. I've still got them made. I borrowed these off him, I don't know how long ago. He's retired from being a mechanic now. He's closed his garage and I've still got his Stilsons. But I've kept them safe for you. I expected to be full dog hair in here, but it's not. I thought that'd be filthy. I was only taking it off because I expected it to be absolutely like full up with yeah, dog hair and nasty. So I'm going to sit that back on because there's no reason for me to take this off. That can just all go in the bin as one big bit of plastic. Got the little electrical box on the back, cast alley motor casing, it's done up there. I'm not sure what's inside, but that's pretty much it. So it's going to be the motor and whatever bit of cable, whatever we salvage out of here. I'm hoping, because these motors do so much work, you'd hope it would be a copper motor, plus it looks a bit older, so I'm hoping for copper and not aluminium. Time will tell. I'm lucky that so far just a finger on the nuts on the other side, is enough to hold on to them to undo the thing. I'm not having to use a spanner, so hopefully I'll get through all of it like that. Couple in the bottom. See what I mean about the finger on the nuts? I wasn't just being rude. Last one. Right, as predicted. That's just a plastic L, nothing worthwhile twisting there, some sort of like sleeve in there. So that can come off. There's some sort of nut in there. This is another plastic housing. That's the bit off the back. That's come off. Just give it some Sammy love, see if that does. No, brute force ignorance isn't doing it. It must need undoing somewhere else. Okay then. You'd think I'd be able to see a screw somewhere, but unless you punch these bits in here, that seems to be it. There's these little push tags in the sides. That goes off. Not much in there. Still. Never mind. Yeah, okay. Christ, these need oiling. It's been a while since these have been used. Cable for the bin. That can fall through there. Oh, I need an oil can. Some little star bits in there. Put those off. Is this the right size? If not, the size below is missing. It's always the way. That's what happens if you don't put stuff back. Let's try this. Found it! Get that one out. Got a little bit of brass or something there. Now, the question is, what sort of motor is this going to be? And also how we get the rest of the plastic off. Is it going to be what I refer to as a muffin type motor? There's a slot there for locking up the motor. I wonder if... No, that's just spinning. Okay. Whether it's going to be a muffin type motor where the copper's a lot more accessible or not. That bit is loose now. If only I hadn't misplaced every tool I've ever done, this would probably be going a lot quicker. So I would just get a pry bar and just whip it off. Where's the pry bar? That's a good question. Give the Ian Special a go. Okay, there's a couple of Allen key bits in there. I need to get this sort of bit off here. Now when it turns, I'm trying to tell, because that looks like it's plastic, but is that what's holding it all on? That's one muggy plastic roll. I'm sure this is a case, I've done a video before where I spent the whole time trying to take it apart and I'd forgotten to lock, there was a thing at the other end to just lock the motor up and I missed it. So I'm assuming that slot at the end to lock it up so I can take it apart. If, again, I had misplaced every tool I own and I had a decent sized screwdriver. This one might do it. See what I mean? There's a slot there. So if I lock the motor up with that, it's not giving very much. Right. Adjust the camera a little bit. Try something different. Okay. Oh, I'm making the right peas here out of this. This is what happens when you start something without the proper tools. Right. There's the plastic fan bit. Just try and chip through that with the chisel. If we get all the way to the middle, we should just be able to pull it off. And then in theory, if I've got mole grips or something onto the spline, then it might be easier to lock them out that way. Oh, it's coming off in bits and pieces, how annoying. There she goes. Right. I don't know how much you've been able to see of any of that, because this is not my best camera setup ever. So I can put mole grips on that now, lock the other end up, and yeah. In theory, if I get this locked up, it should be easy to take the other end off. Mole grips or vice grips if you're from... I pretty much, I don't think they make original mole grips anymore. It's just old people like me that remember them. Right, so that's all spinning there. So in theory, when I get a spanner or a socket on that, when it turns, the mole grips will touch the bench and it should be locked in place. In theory, that is. Let's see. It's plastic, so it's just chewing up. It's not coming undone. There's probably an obvious way that you can all see do this, which I'm not, but I'll go with the way that, you know, I understand. And then we'll shove the elusive pry bar in it. Bust through the bottom. If I can get to, how many amateurs have we got to get to? Muddy flywheel type thing on the end. It's getting right on my nerves. Okay. Help if I had somewhere locking it up. These hex bits are far more difficult to get out than they absolutely have any business being. Absolute son of a bitch. I've also found what's left of my hex / Allen key set, so I'm actually using something approaching the right tools to get it. It's still really tough, tougher than you'd expect. I managed to free the motor up from all the body of the plastic. That bit is still on there, that's annoying. Can't really see what's what with it yet, other than we've got these kind of nubby bits which aren't really made to be taken off for it to be serviced. They're sort of done up on the left, and I don't think, especially how old it is and rusty it is, I'm going to be able to cut those off. So there's a different way of doing it with the hacksaw. So in theory I should be able to just hacksaw through all of these and then bosh the end of it off, and then when it comes to these bits still being screwed into the body, hopefully when it's all separated I should be able to get get mole grips or something, undo the bit that's left, and then it'll be clean alley. If not, I'll cut it off as short as it can and still put it in as clean alley. Normally you feel them spring when they go, and it didn't, and I'm disappointed because that's my favourite bit. Is that all the way through? Yeah. It's only right, there's only 3, normally there's 4. Cool. Right, let's see what's what. She's coming. Something's coming. Crack the case a bit there, but never mind. The end off. That's what I refer to as a muffin type motor. So when you take these off from the side bits, they look like a muffin. Ah, this end's coming off as well, okay. I can separate that, it'll be clean cast alley, and that I put in as an alley refine as long as I was looking, because there's alley in the middle. If not, the whole thing as goes an alley refine or on the alley, depending on what they call it, which yard it goes to. Well, this looks like it's going to be a nuisance. See what we've got here. It feels like copper. And it is copper. Right? Final check. For me, the final test to see if a motor is copper or aluminium is to... I can't find the strands I've cut now. Where are they? There it is, behind the string. Is to cut the piece of the wire, and you can see that's copper coloured. Because sometimes the kind of shellac or whatever it is they put on, you cut it, you scratch it from the outside, and it still looks copper coloured. It's only when you cut it and look straight down it, and you can see it's copper coloured. Okay, other issues we've got are, obviously it's in like a solid iron base around the side there, which is standard for a muffin, what I call a muffin top motor. But normally you just saw through one end. I haven't done a video on motors properly, but you saw through one end and then you push and pull the rest of it through the body of it. But where this has got a lip, there's nowhere clear, and that's just why I sort of pulled it out of it. There's nowhere clear to get a proper saw on. So my options are to smash the cast alley off, so I can get a saw in there to do it, which obviously is dangerous. You don't want this stuff flying around everywhere, hitting me in the face. Even with glasses or goggles on. I've got Tank over there. He's concerned about it, as you can tell. He's worried that aluminium could be coming his way any second. Or I have to get in there and try and cut the wire that way. So I think that's the option I'm going to go with. Right, unconventional uses for a wood chisel. Episode 925. Hopefully we can chip through all of these strands of wire like that. It's going quite quickly actually. And then pushing it through the other side should be fairly standard. I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so I've chiselled off the main ring part of it, but it's, compared to when you do it with a saw, it's very scruffy. So I'm having to literally go back with the chisel and just clip the ends off. And then this is one of the screws that came out of the body. I've just undone it with the mole grips, and then that's what I'm using. I'm just tapping that through because I've got a few of these knocking around for this job, but this is right in front of me, so I undid this and then I'm poking through. But to do it properly, I have to go around and tidy up all of these, which is a nuisance, but there you go. It's all been pushed through. The copper is everywhere, so I need to sweep up the bench, and you don't lose any of it, not even a little bit. So this is going to go in as alley refines on the alley. So is this, and I've got some stainless bolts. All in all, pull pump, bit of a nuisance, but the copper all adds up. Suspend with sentence.